Okay, we're on record now.
So can you hear me? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to show you a few things that I did with your website and your information. Everything is being public, of course, and to show you how easy it is with our tooling create to create applications and to create features based on generative AI. So I created an application, super easy. It took me about 5 minutes. And I indexed the Reale website. What does it actually do? It creates an index of all the HTML files that you have on your website, and it creates a large language model that is tuned for your website. So when I go to the website, you have an experience that is both a search experience, assicurazioni, um, and that shows two things: the pages that you have access, that the a search result. So that's actually our Google search experience for customers. We call this enterprise search, and it uses an LLM, a large language model, to summarize the information that are on all the pages that you have on your website. So if you want to ask a question to your information, you can actually ask a question here. So for example, what do you have for family business? Um, I can actually ask this, and I immediately get what you guys provide in terms of family insurance. And I can click on this um, and get the information from the website. By the way, I don't know if this is normal, but since yesterday, the website is not was not working really well. It There were performance issues on the website. So, and this reflects a little bit what we have from a technology perspective. We've combined Google search and Google generative AI into one product, and it is very easy to create applications and to create unique applications that combine the two. So how did I do this? Very easy. I have a number of apps, and I can create a new app. This app can be a search experience, it can be a chat experience, or it can be a content recommendation engine. This one I created a search experience, but I also have the ability to create a chat experience. And I'm going to actually show you what it does and how it works. So this is my list of applications. Uh, uh, there are two applications that I created. One is a chat, one for Reale Mutua, one is a search plus chat. So if I go to the chat one, then I can actually create in a tool that we call Dialogflow how you want the chat to look like. So if I go to publish, I just try now, and I have the chat here, and I can ask something on the website. So it needs to be indexed, so it doesn't really retrieve any document right now. But if I had all the documents that you would like to combine with our large language model, it would just take a few minutes to oh, sorry, I was not sharing the right thing.
Antoine, in the meanwhile, may I ask you if we could indexing also other type of documents like PDF or
Yes.
whatever?
I'm going to show you how you can do that.
And can we do the same also with pictures? I mean, if we
Yes.
have a document, a digitalized document,
Yes.
there's some OCR, intelligence character recognition,
Absolutely.
or yeah, okay.
So let's do this. Can you see my screen?
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay, I'm going to create a new app.
Now,
I'm
yes.
call it Reale 2 because I already have Reale 1. And then I'm going to create a new data store. And here you see what kind of documents you can have. So you can actually link documents from just a URL. You can link information from BigQuery, which is our data warehouse, or you could just link it to cloud storage. Cloud storage is if you put document in unstructured formats or in structured formats. So in unstructured formats, we have PDF, HTML, and text files. Okay. If
So
you want to,
there's not image.
I know it's not image.
Okay.
If you want to do, I was coming at that. If you want to do images, then you need to use a different set of product. So it's not here, but I can actually also show you how you can import images and do some OCR on images.
Okay. I was asking that because large part of the documentation that we receive from the customer are just digitalized image of documents. So we don't have text inside the image. Or maybe
Yes.
a human can read the text in the image, but it's not something that we can analyze as a document.
Yeah. So we did a project on so for example, you can do exact. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So it's a product called Document AI, and you can create actually document from images that support JPEG, PNG, JPEG, BMP, PDF, TIFF, etc., etc. Okay.
Okay, and in this
And
case,
actually,
the document have to be uploaded, or it is something that
the document need to be available from a GCS bucket,
okay,
which is the
storage.
the storage. And then what you can do with this is that you can extract the document, you can classify the document, you can split the document, and you can summarize the documents. And then you can upload if you have a data pipeline, you extract the information, and then this information can be addressed and used in the chatbot.
Right.
Okay. So I did this. We did this for a large insurance. I'm not going to say who, but you can easily find it. You can easily guess. We did that for a large insurance company in Switzerland, where we uploaded their automotive contracts, and we were able to extract from the documents the premium amount, determination date, the type of car, the type of insurance they have, the name of the person, the address of the person, and then you train the document like this. It's very, very easy. you need about to train a model that makes sense. You need something like 400 contracts, for example, and then for all the other subsequent contracts, it automatically retrieves the information that you want. You can also just use it as an OCR, and then you would store the whole thing into the chatbot.
Yes.
Okay.
I was imagining that the customer service that have to reply to a customer that have provided some documents, and so be able to get information from the document provided by the customer itself is very useful.
Yes, and so we do have this. You can actually retrieve the document. You can classify it. One way, for example, that we use classification is when a customer attaches a document, you can immediately see if it's a contract, if it's a claim, if it's an additional document on an existing claim, if it's a justification paper to show that you live there or that you don't live there, or that like electricity bill, things like this. We can easily do all of that, and it works pretty well. We have one of the best success rates in the industry. Another thing that you can do that you can see here is that for your claims and for your human process, you can ask your teams, it's called human in the loop, to classify the first few documents that you want to make sure go into the right category.
That sort of training. It's a sort of training for the...
Yeah, so the humans would either correct or confirm the way that the system has been trained. Okay, so for example, you can have like errors or mistakes in the way the first few documents are trained, or you want to introduce a new set of documents. Then you would use HIL, human in the loop, to train, to ask your team to further train the documents. Yeah, you can also subcontract it to a third party and not do it yourself, but usually you like to do this with your own teams. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So
sorry,
we did
I was in mode, sorry. Yes, makes sense.
Yeah.
And it will be useful for many of the process of claims related to claims. So
yes,
makes
absolutely.
sense.
Yeah.
So Massimo, so Antoine, if I may, are you using anything of this, even in a very basic way, as of today?
Let's say we use some OCR and solution somewhere. The things that's missing is the chatbot that is able to collect the information gathered by the documents and reply to the customer in a sort of automatic way. One of the things that I may be useful is also understand if the customers that use this chatbot may ask to have to escalate if the answer provided by the generative AI is not enough for his to escalate to a human. Real human.
Yeah. So there is a process where you can see where if it goes into an error, it goes to a different process, and you can configure your process. If I want to create a new processor, I can actually show you, but it's going to take a while. So maybe we can convene on a different. We can do this from a. So then you need to configure your data set, and your data set is usually based on a set of documents. Then the different processes is that you train your model, you evaluate and test your model, you manage your versions, and you add humans in the loop to improve this.
Verify.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a number of documents, and we have specialized parsers. So we have parsers for driver's license, the passports, the retirement statement. We have payslip, mortgages, and we can create, if you have like dedicated documents that you always have the same. For example, we created a parser for accident statements. The blue and yellow form. We have a parser that does this automatically. Okay. Right. So that's what I wanted to show you. Maybe another thing I want to show you is more related to not to this, but to Vertex AI specifically. Vertex AI is our language platform. Our AI platform. So you can create applications. You can have access to all sorts of models. You can use a Collab Enterprise, and you have the whole the system, the whole platform to prepare your data, to prepare your models, and to deploy your models through APIs. And you can. So I'm going to show you, for example, the list of models that we have. So we have obviously our own models that I'm going to show you. We have so Palm2 being our own models, and you have open source models also that you can have access to, like Llama 2. Cody for code completion is our own models for developers. And we have Stable Diffusion. We have the ability to do embeddings, etc., etc. So we have a huge list of models. Some of them are business specific, and some of them, and most of them, are general models. So, for example, this one is a document AI OCR processor that can extract information. It can do it from a parser. It can use Vision API for face detection, for text detection in text and images. You can do a watermark detector, which is very important. You can do text to video or video to text, etc., etc., etc. So we have a very large set of models. So if I go to just to show you how it works, I guess you've all used ChatGPT, but this is an enterprise version. So being an enterprise version, you're from a security perspective, from a privacy perspective, the data remains with you, and it is your model and your data and your security. You can also fine-tune the model with your information and your data. So, for example, if you want to fine-tune it with all the documentation that you have internally, you can easily do this and create additional conversations for it. So here you select the models. So, for example, I have like 6 models that I usually use. Chat model for text, a 32K. So that's the context window. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's very large. and then you have the ones for the developers for code. And you can actually ask a question, is a claim in insurance, that's and then you would get an answer from our AI. This is the very latest model. Okay. I'm going to go back to the claims area, and maybe before that, I'll share a few thoughts on GenAI and LLMs with specific insurance examples.
Antoine, before moving to this topic, may I ask you if you can show us how the chatbot may be integrated with a business process? I mean, if a customer required to be paid for a claim, the process of the payment should be addressed automatically. There's any kind of automation that we can exploit to perform action related to the answer received by the chatbot, something like that. Can we join the chatbot with the business process manager?
Yes, absolutely. Let me share with you this slide.
Okay.
In this slide, you see that you have like a frozen model that does not change. It's the same for all customers and all companies. It's the basis, but it is used only by you here. Then you can add information and documents within your enterprise. Okay. And you add your documentation there. Because it's on your premise, it's your data, you can link it to your data, your content, your security. You have all sorts of key management solutions so that it remains completely private for your users. And then you can link in on the externally facing, you can let the chatbot, or you can access all of this through the chatbot. Now, if you want to link this in a business process, you have this business process flow manager that we have in Google, and I'm not gonna. Where you create your flows, you can import flows, you can create new pre-built applications, and then you combine this in a process. So here, it's just the chatbot. So when I publish it and I try it now, that I just have the chatbot. You see here?
Yeah.
But I can definitely embed it in a full workflow of applications. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So
we can add also interaction with our backend API to perform. Yeah.
Absolutely. So again, I'm going to go back to this. We have this concept of RAG, and my team is working a lot on this. RAG is called Retrieval Augmented Generation. So, for example, you have a chatbot, and on the chatbot, you ask, okay, can you identify yourself? So the customer would give their premium number or their contract number. They would give their contract number, and then the LLM would identify that they need true identification. So you would require some information like to make sure that you didn't just choose any contract. I'm going to ask you what is, I don't know, the name of your grandmother, because that was your security session. Then they say the name of my grandmother is Rosa, and then it would call an API called RAG, a RAG API to check within the LLM that on this contract number with this Rosa name, I can actually identify the customer. Once I have identified the customer, then the subsequent questions can be personalized in a way that if you are asked, if you want to know, okay, what is the amount of premium, when is my termination date, you can actually answer these questions more accurately.
Great.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. Perfectly.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, so on claims, because I think we want to talk a little bit about claims today. I was in my previous job, I was CIO of an insurance group with Allianz and Euler Hermes, which is an insurance company for a very specific type of insurance. And when we revamped our claims process, we looked at a few things that we believed were important. One was we had to minimize the loss ratio, and to minimize the loss ratio, we had to make sure that we would not pay when it was not supposed to be paid, and second, that it was not fraud. So we had models to make sure that this was not the case. And that's where AI, and that's where I got into, I get to know Google and the Google technologies, because that helps a lot. The other area of cost for a claims management system was the admin burden and the administrative burden and the complex processing of claims. So you receive a claim from various sources. You need to identify the claim. You need to link it to a customer. You need to link it to a contract. You need to link it to a premium, to a policy. You need to look in the policy management system whether the claim is legitimate or not. You need to do all these things, and at the same time, you need to interact with the customer to give them a feedback. The goal we had was to do straight-through processes for 80% of our claims with no human intervention. And that was the most challenging part, of course, because when you receive just a mail or a phone call, that's not easy at all. If I go to... So we tried to model the different parts of the claim process. Maybe that I should make this a bit better, a bit bigger. And we also tried to model where we can help from a GenAI and from a technology perspective at Google Cloud. So, of course, there's the prevention part, but when the loss event occurs, you need to maybe you need to send emergency assistance. You need to do the police report and everything. Then you have the notification. Then you have where you need to validate the client to verify the coverage, to capture the loss information, to schedule the emergency service, for example, if it's automotive or whatever. Then you have an evaluation. So like provisional estimates, requests, etc. Then you have fraud, because you need to make sure that this is not fraud. Then you have the resolution and the disbursement. You actually pay the customer. And then you may need to do some salvaging or recovery of deductibles of subrogation. And at the same, and in the end, you need to ask for feedback, satisfaction, and everything. across all of these processes, each one can be very complex by itself. You need to do analytics and make sure that you measure what you do well. And that can be different from like the different the different product lines of insurance. If it is motor or property or personal insurance, commercial insurance, or rescue claims. But what we believe and what we try to kind of convey is that even then we can find commonalities in the processes, so that only a few things will differ that are business specific in the processes, so that you can have as many commonalities of all the processes as possible. That way you can generalize your staff, you can create some shared contact centers or shared centers, and you only need to specify and to specialize people in only one vertical part of the process. I'm just going to stop there and see if there are any questions, or if you disagree or agree with this.
We agree that there's a different way to handle the claims and all the loss events according with the type of insurance. So we completely agree.
Okay.
So
So what do we see in the market? It's McKinsey and PwC research that we use there. That 41% of customers are likely to switch providers if the insurance provider lacks digital capabilities. That's a lot. 15% of customers identify lack of digital capabilities as the topmost challenge while interacting with insurance. 1/3 of insurers say fraud was as high as 20% of claims cost. So fighting fraud is super important. And 35% of all liability claims result in lawsuit increasing cost of claims by 75K. Auto insurers lose 14% of premiums a year due to claims leakage, about 20 billion. That's overall. So how can we help for all of these in all of the steps? And we believe that AI, because of the complex nature of claims, which is not like structured and very transactional and super easy, generative AI can help dramatically there. So what area can we focus on for improvement of the claims process? Of course, there's early warning and preventive measures. We can identify areas for early settlement. Early settlement is very important if you want to improve your cost ratio.
Yeah.
So in my company, my previous company, we said, okay, with no human intervention, early settlement of 80% of the claims when the customer is well identified, the claim is well understood, the cost is well understood, there is no further investigation to be made. We can automate all of this, and we can create, even if there is like a small level of interaction with the customer, with the insured customer, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Of course, it doesn't work if there is an expert or if the customer cannot be reached on everything. On average, in my company before, and there's no secret, it's a kind of public information, that amounted to about 80% of all the claims, right? So that speeds up the resolution, and there digital helps a lot, because you can ingest a claim, you can understand the claim, you can go get the information directly through APIs from the core insurance system. What is your core insurance system today?
We have a custom core insurance system, so maybe it's not.
Is it on mainframe?
No,
No more.
no more. No longer on mainframe. We use Tuxedo.
Okay. And do you have like REST APIs on top that can be used, or is it? Yeah.
I think yes, Mauro. We have REST API for the claims system.
No REST, SOAP.
Oh, SOAP.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. So, but SOAP is accessible. But then where can we add value? So we can add value pretty much anywhere, because as Google Cloud, you can build a solution there. But where can we add value from a GenAI perspective? On the left-hand side, you see our capabilities. So some of them I kind of showed to you. So the chatbot, the contact center AI. By the way, I don't know what kind of contact center you have, but we have a very advanced contact center solution that can integrate with the leading providers like well, I don't want to go into the details because I don't know exactly what the full list of providers, but we have integration telephony systems and others. Then we have document AI and natural language processing, where we can ingest documents of all sorts, including documents that have already been pre-processed, like I don't know, electricity bills or invoices or passports, identity cards, and then you can create your own custom ones, like you know, an accident claim system. You can do it with your contracts. You can do it with you know, all sorts of document that you can create yourself. Then we have Vision AI. So Vision AI is for both video and text and images, where you can actually identify. We have a partnership for cars, where you can identify the type of car and the type of damage. We will never claim that we can turn, we will never really claim that based on a picture, we can assess the actual cost of repairs and because there can be internal damage and everything. So this is something that some of our competitors would do. We don't really do that, but we have partnerships with image providers of all cars and stuff like this. Then we can do like prediction, clustering, email preparation, email understanding, sentiment analysis of emails and documentation, so that you can, for example, you receive an email of a very angry customer, you can flag it as, you know, very angry customer, so that the process to manage can be sped up by your customer representatives. And then we have generative AIs, including like summarization, where you can summarize a document, summarize a legal contract, summarize a contract by itself, ask for summarization, ask within the summarization to focus on a number of documents. So if you have like a very long document with all sorts of legal stuff, but you always need the same type of information, like the premium amount, the termination date, the name of the customer, the type of car. You don't want to browse through the document all the time. You want to have a very specialized document. And then we have our translation solutions for those who want to converse in different languages. I'm just going to stop there and see if you have any questions.
Well, it seems interesting. Just a question. You, if I understood properly, you always talk about damages in car insurance. Do you have also experience with other types of properties?
Yeah. So all of the above. We don't do just car insurance. We don't specialize in any type of insurance, by the way,
Okay.
whether it is car or anything. We are very agnostic to the type of insurance. I was referring to car insurance because it's the easiest one to understand from a claims perspective. You have an accident, you call. But if you have a leakage in your house, or if you have a medical claim, or if you have a commercial insurance claim on a building, on a small business, on a liability, all of these, or if you want to be rescued from abroad because you're on vacation and you got bitten by a camel, all of the above apply. The same type of technology can apply.
And if I may, Antoine, another angle to look at this, Massimo, is we have a broad ecosystems of partners available in our marketplace that specialize in specific parts of the insurance value chain. To give you an example, we have a partner. It's called TensorFlight. They specialize in analyze building and extract data like what's the facade made of, what is the roof made of, what is the type of occupancy that you can expect from that building. So I know this is a very important topic when you want to automate the underwriting process for underwriting the commercial insurance. And this is exactly the sweet spot of this partner, and it's available in our marketplace. So think of Google as a pretty extensive set of tools, some of which are more in a kind of as a service ready for your business outcome. Some other you need to be combined, but they, as Antoine said, they are common to very different lines. Plus, there's the ecosystem, the marketplace, where you find vendors. Most of them develop solutions specifically using these tools, so they're very well integrated. And from a commercial perspective, they are available in the marketplace.
Okay, got it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, just to say that I get what Fabrizio said. Just this.
Okay, so a couple of things. We, as I said, we operate in all of the insurance processes, whether it's the customer experience, the digital experience, the underwriting, the claims, and the risk and compliance. Here today we focused on claims, but so what are the capabilities that we are able to do, and that we are able to manage? Of course, there's public website navigation. It's quite complex sometimes to understand where you need to be, what kind of product you want to do. That's why what I showed you in the beginning, if you really want a type of product, you can actually ask in a more of a conversational way. In underwriting, we have the ability to check submissions and applications against an underwriting appetite. We have models to model the underwriting part. Claim coverage check, same thing. You submit a document. We can work with you to read through an LLM the policy wording of a contract. Okay. Process automation. We talked about process automation. We have a workflow system where you can automate your processes, combine it with generative AI, and automate the information retrieval and also the recommendation step of a kind of a recurring business process. And then there's regulatory compliance automation, document generation. So based on a few prompts. I don't know how familiar you are with GenAI, but based on a few prompts and based on your templates of document that you've stored in the way I showed you today, you can write new documentation and summarization of other, based on summarization of other documents, and you can also do on code. That applies, of course, also to customer service automation, to regulatory filing creation. So here, this is mainly for the US. I don't know what we have for Europe. Document search and synthesis. We just introduced our generative AI-based document search, and it's called Universal Search, which combines Google search and LLMs. Creative assistance, you can create bespoke images and content for your campaigns, more on the marketing side. And research acceleration, where if you have like data scientists, you can actually train your own models, either based on our existing models, based on open source models, or create your own models themselves. And the last but not least is how to improve the developer efficiency and the developer productivity. And we have a tool called Duet AI to improve the productivity of your developers. Maybe a few examples. Here it's on the. Shall I talk a little bit about the underwriting process, or should we only speak about claims?
I think it's that there are no constraints. I don't know, Antonio, if
No,
you
exactly.
want to be
No
focused
constraint.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we have time, only.
The only
Just to
constraint
check
is the
on
time.
the
We have few
on the
minutes.
agenda, because we have a 15 minutes left in the scheduled time. Can you extend Massimo and Antonio and Antoine? I'm
No,
happy to
sorry.
stay. So
No,
you have
sorry,
that.
I cannot. Yes.
Okay.
Me
So
too.
Antoine,
Well, I will be done. That's fine. I still have maybe 5 minutes, and then we can have a discussion on the next step. So, here, streamline the underwriting process for an applicant by gathering information and helping determine risk profile. So the example is simplify the risk assessment by incorporating new data sources like age, gender, tobacco use, medical history, prescriptions from existing APIs, and analyzing the information to make a more informed decision on risk appetite. We have a solution called AutoML tables. AutoML tables in Vertex AI. Vertex AI is our flagship product that can gather a lot of information in tabular form and create a model for risk management. This is super, and it automatically chooses the best model, whether it's a traditional ML model or an AI model with the deep neural networks. And then you combine this with GenAI to create the document that does, I don't know if you saw our Duet AI in Workspace, but in Duet AI in Workspace, you can anchor information based on what you would retrieve from this person, and you can ask them to create a document automatically. I don't know if you have access to this, but
we don't have access, but we saw last week with Fabrizio and other Google colleagues, so we are a bit aware about that.
Right. Another one is enhancing claims experience for handlers of claims. So the example is review my spouse's policy coverage terms and limits to help me understand what type of benefits we'll receive. That goes into the line of what Massimo was asking, integrated into the CRM, the EHR, the external data sources to build a 360 degree view of the customer. Sadly, my husband passed away, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, you should never say blah, blah, blah after my husband passed away. And then your Mr. Doe's beneficiary will receive a benefit of $500,000. You are also entitled to an accidental death benefit of $50K. Well, that does not come out of the blue. This is not in the model. This is an API call that was made directly in real time to the system. And I guess that was a little bit in line of your question before.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. A health plan focus here, a digital member concierge. The example is using generative AI. Health plans can quickly and seamlessly provide members with answers to their questions about the coverage levels and other health and wellness benefits. And it's able to locate, to summarize, and generate health plan customer service responses to improve the efficiencies. Okay, so you see here that the patient can ask a chatbot a specific coverage questions, and post-call, once the call is done, and that's very important because that's something that we really are good at, is that based on the conversation, you can summarize the conversation and send it to an agent, and then we can do all sorts of data analytics on the summary of the conversation. Either you can create you can ask an agent to call the patient. You can generate a lead. You can feed your data analytics platform, etc., etc. Maybe I will show you this demo if I can. And then maybe that will be the last one, because I have many more of what we can do. But we need to be conscious of time a bit. Okay. Tell me if you cannot hear anything.
We can hear everything. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. I could go on and show more demos of what you can do, what we can do with all of this, but I guess that's not necessarily we could have another session. So that's all the capabilities that we have. Very important is that we can handle your data, we can handle your processes, and then we can handle the use of that data processes in search experiences, in LLM AI experiences, in risk management and analytics of data, etc., etc. And in applications that you can build easily based on GenAI for your claims processes, but also for other processes. So I think I'm going to stop there, and maybe we can discuss what the next steps could be.
Yeah, thank you, Antoine. I really appreciate, because and I really like the way you demoed Vertex AI and how to build, for example, a conversational chatbot. Because I mean, these things. What really impressed me is that if I think back when I joined Google 3 years ago, creating this type of a solution was not so easy. It required a lot of knowledge, and you had to be able to stitch together many pieces. Now, as of today, I mean, in the most advanced organization, we see business users creating their own search tool for their own department. So think about risk management for all their document that they handle. Now, I don't want to say that you can aim that, so you still have a role into this. But what I really want to say is that the best way to move forward would be to really try in some piece of your process the capabilities that we show today. So I'd like to take these 5 minutes to discuss with you if you see any possibility to try, because try is the best way to see the value.
Well, really, try, I don't know. I think, first of all, we should rethink redesign our processes. No, because for me, this presentation was really inspiring. No, but as my knowledge, no, on the claim process or the underwriting is not so so deep. So, I mean, I think probably next step could be a presentation to the business users. So what can be available on the market? So probably, but I think we'd better discuss internally to also with Marco Verdiol, who is not here, but he is the most who mostly knows our claim process, because he followed the technical part for years. Probably this can be a next step. But for me, it was really inspiring. So first of all, I thank you all for this. It is really seems a revolution in this kind of process. But
yeah,
please.
Couple of thoughts. Definitely, if we can have a session like that, we can also put much more business focus, and you want to invite your business counterparts, I'd really love to do that, because that's when ideas came out, and very often, I mean, you're so much immersed in technologies that it's definitely, you see the opportunities, but the business needs to be made aware.
Yes.
Yes. So definitely, that's one thing that if we can do it, I would love. And I'm thinking, Antoine, hope I can count on your support. But I think definitely we are here available. But I agree that there needs to be a redesign. You need to rethink about how to reshape your, for example, the claims process. At the same time, what I'm seeing is that there are areas which are very easy to test. So again, conversational chatbots, they can have a quick impact in take car insurance. When someone is calling for a towing assistance, roadside assistance, that's something you provide. But it's really powerful if you can automate that. As you said, one of the key metrics here is about reducing the expense ratio in managing claims, and there are many pieces in the different roadside. For example, roadside assistance is one of the ones that I've seen that can be easily automated. So what I'm saying is, while we meet the business, while you redesign process, I really invite you to think about areas where we can easily test this, because the outcome, the benefit could be immediate and the effort is minimal. Because the technology is so much available today and so easily adoptable. And we have so many partners in Italy who are investing like Google, so the cost for you can also be really minimal. But that's what I feel, what I'm seeing. I mean, for your benefit.
Yes. Well, thank you for this opportunity. Really, I cannot find myself a test case, a use case for this. I need to talk with colleagues.
Sure.
For example, roadside assistance. I know that we have already some automation, but now the channel is the activation channel is the voice. So with intelligent IVR, for example, not with a conversational chatbot, but I don't know if the business is capable to manage this pilot. I don't know how to call it, but it's an opportunity. It's okay. I will certainly make a proposal for this.
We didn't mention that, but one thing that we see with another insurance company in Italy 2 days ago is the importance of integration between voice and chat. I mean, if you have the voice with one contact center provider, I don't remember which one you use, say Avaya or
Genesis.
Genesis, for example. Yes. If you have the voice activation on one side, and then you want to call whatever hyperscaler to do the chat piece in conversational, there's a big issue with latencies. Okay. While with Google, you can have the voice and chat integrated in one platform, and that cuts the problem of latency. That's one we discussed two days ago with another insurer in Italy. So that's why I mentioned that. So there are plenty. I really love if you can think about areas where to test, and I'm sure we can find an easy, what I call low-hanging fruits.
Okay. I am sorry, but the time is over.
Yep.
Sorry, but I really need to connect because I'm...
Absolutely, Antonio.
Okay, I'm sorry, but we keep in touch, Fabrizio, to define our next steps, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
And
thank you,
have a nice weekend.
Massimo. Thank you,
Fabrizio, can you stay online for
Yep, I can do. Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Just last
Cheers.
topic, Fabrizio, I'm not so familiar with Google Meet. So can you explain me how we can share the registration?
Yeah, I
with the
will.
colleagues?
I will give you instruction for that.
Okay, thanks a lot.
I should
See you.
receive the
Have a
recording
nice
in a
weekend.
few hours, and then I'll tell you how to get access.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.